Right. Welcome, everyone, and we are ready to get started. Thank you all for joining. Over to you, Nathan.
Thanks, Eileen. I am here in Boston with all the Ranked Choice Boston and Voter Choice Massachusetts people. So we're having a good time. We're ranking drinks. I've only had one of them, so I should be pretty coherent still. So I just got a few quick remarks, and then we're going to get right into it. So this is a day we celebrate you, all your work, all your achievements, and revel in your plans to make America stronger by choice. We came together as Ranked to Vote 5 years ago. Since then, we haven't been talking the big talk. We haven't been spending the big bucks. We've been doing the work together. So we've been meeting face to face and sharing the possibility of better elections and better politics with everyday Americans wherever we live, and it's been working great. The big lesson about RCV is that when people understand it and connect it to their lives, they love it. Just this year, once again, you signed nearly 40,000 new supporters up, and you raised $1 million, which was a new high for the national movement. You stood up and faced down ban bills, preventing them from taking hold. And in a year where election reform struggled, you put landslide victories on the board that showed what's possible when people are integral with the process. Your list of accomplishments is longer than the CVS pharmacy receipt I picked up today. So we're going to turn to this celebration to where it belongs, to you, the leaders, so you can hit us with some shock and awe democracy style. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Nathan. Our first speaker is Jean Massey in Minnesota. Jean, over to you, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Well, hello, Eileen, and Rank the Vote team, and everybody who's joining us today. And thanks for inviting me to share a little bit of insights and progress here in Minnesota. But before I begin all of that, I actually just want to recognize with all of us right now how important it is to be together and in community in this really challenging moment for democracy. And thank Rank the Vote for being that venue to bring us together. I know we're all feeling more than anxious about what's to come in the next 4 years. And whatever small role we play in defending and advancing and expanding our democracy is all a very important and rewarding moment we can engage in. And we'll do that together. So I just wanted to recognize this particular moment. We're coming together at a time when we've never been in this space before, and hopefully we can all grow tighter and more united and more collaborative in the work that we're all doing across the country to make our democracy truly sustain what's going to be a very challenging 4 years. So thank you all for your work. So here in Minnesota, I'm excited to share some things that we accomplished in 2024 and where we hope we can go in 2025, despite some challenges here in Minnesota, not just nationally. And for those of you who are not as familiar with Minnesota as others might be, we began the journey of getting ranked choice voting going at the local level back in 2006 when we brought it to Minneapolis, and I was a big part of that campaign in helping introduce it to Minnesota. And then we expanded it to 4 more cities. So now we have it in 5 municipalities, and we are making a strong push legislatively to get a local options bill and eventually a statewide bill passed. So last year in 2024, we came just 2 votes shy from passing it in the Minnesota House. That was a big accomplishment, and we pushed hard to take it for a vote so that we knew if that we did have some holdouts, that we would know how to address those challenges. And what we engage in order to overcome those challenges is really the candidate work. I know many of you are not engaged in candidate work, which means for us identifying, recruiting, and helping elect pro-ranked choice voting candidates to the Minnesota legislature. I'm sure that we would not be making the progress we're making without doing that work on the ground to identify and really help elect our champions. And I think in the next cycle, we'll elect even more. So we elected 8 new ranked choice voting champions to the Minnesota legislature, and that's because of our work. And we'll continue making that progress so that when we know we have an RCV majority, we'll be able to pass our legislation. So this cycle, well, I'm going to come back to 2025. Also in 2024, we were in the position of needing to defend ranked choice voting in one of our communities, Bloomington, because it was put up for repeal by similar forces that we saw happen in Alaska, where it was also put up for repeal. Like Alaska, we saved ranked choice voting in Bloomington. We're very excited to have done that. And I'm hoping that that kind of shuts the door on opponents trying to repeal ranked choice voting. It was attempted in another community just the year before. We also handily defeated that campaign. And we hope that we won't have to fight off any more repeal efforts here in Minnesota. And then we, those are the huge kind of accomplishments in 2024. So setting the stage for 2025. Some of you may be reading that the Minnesota legislature is in a kind of a pickle right now. It is after the election, the Minnesota House was tied, but due to a couple of seats that were contested, there's now a special election slated for the Minnesota House, and in the meanwhile, the GOP has a 1-seat majority in the legislature. On the Senate side, the Senate is now in parity between the GOP and the Democrats, and the Democrats will come back into the majority following a special election on Tuesday. So while we wait out those caucus situations, we are moving ahead with a couple of important pieces of legislation. One, we want to push ranked choice voting forward, our local options bill forward through the Senate, similar to what we did in the House in the last session, and hopefully approve it out of the Senate in 2025. On the other hand, because the House will be in parity and we really just don't have the support we need probably for a bipartisan bill at this point, though that is always a goal and we continuously work on it. We hope that we can have what we call a technical bill that would provide guidance for cities that are holding elections in even years to use ranked choice voting. St. Paul, which uses ranked choice voting, also approved a ballot measure last year, moving its elections to even years. And so now we need to figure out exactly what those rules would look like. So if we can accomplish that, that would then open up the door for use of ranked choice voting at the local level in other cities that use RCV for even years. So those are the main goals legislatively, in addition to fending off any ban bills that could potentially come our way. And then in the second half of the year, we have 5 cities that are using ranked choice voting. So we always play a very robust voter outreach and engagement or education process to make sure that new voters in particular are familiar with the process and engaging and ranking their ballot in the most effective way possible. So those are big roles. And then we'll likely make a push to get ranked choice voting adopted at least at one more community and potentially in other communities for special elections. So we've got activity on a few fronts that we hope to keep the momentum alive on ranked choice voting, while legislatively our goals are probably a little less ambitious than they have been in the past couple of cycles. So that's what's going on in Minnesota, and we look forward to learning from all of you and partnering with all of you and making more progress. Thanks, Eileen.
Thank you, Jean. Always great to hear from you. And next we are going over to April in New Jersey, who is going to fill us in on all of their great work.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is April Nicklaus. I'm one of the volunteer state leaders with Voter Choice New Jersey. 2024 was really a banner year for ranked choice voting in our state. After a long and hard-fought campaign in New Jersey's second largest city, we won a major victory in April 2024 when the Jersey City Council nearly unanimously passed our ranked choice voting trigger ordinance, with almost 50 ranked choice voting supporters turning out to speak in support of the ordinance, from core supporters from our statewide team to an abundance of local residents, including residents who specifically mentioned Voter Choice New Jersey's Rank the Beers education events as an experience that won them over to ranked choice voting, and residents who said that they have never voted before but registered to vote after engaging with our campaign because the prospect of ranked choice voting gave them hope that their vote would really matter. And our theory all along with tackling such a huge campaign in our state's second largest city right from the get-go was that winning there would create a snowball effect across the state, and it did. After our big win in Jersey City in the spring, we succeeded in winning municipal action in 5 other municipalities in the course of 5 months. Those other towns are Red Bank, Princeton, Maplewood, South Orange, and Montclair. And I'll note that 4 out of those 5 municipal actions happened within the span of just 1 month. So September was very busy for us. And in New Jersey, the actual implementation of ranked choice voting still hinges on the state legislature passing a bill that enables municipalities and school boards to be allowed to choose alternative voting systems such as RCV. And we feel good about the prospects for our bill this year based on the power that we've been able to build across the state, not just through these municipal level wins, but through the many educational events that we've done. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you, April. Really great to hear from you and excited to have New Jersey be a part of our network. And next, I'm just queuing up a video from Rebecca Williams, who is not able to join live because she is out with her own RCV Day event that she's doing right now. So here we go from Rebecca.
Hello, RCV advocates. I am Rebecca Williams from Illinois. I'm the executive director from Fair Vote, Illinois, and I can't be here tonight because I've got other stuff going on in my state, but I wanted to share just some of the great news and stuff that we're working on in Illinois, some great news from the tail end of last year, and what's coming up for 2025. So you may have heard that last year we had a couple great wins in the November election. We ran an advisory referendum in Peoria, which is a city in central Illinois, just asking voters how they would feel about the idea of using RCV statewide. That referendum won handily. 67% of voters voted yes. And that was in a place where we hadn't even necessarily done a ton of movement building before. But we're finding, when people learn about RCV, they like it. And then we had our second city that actually voted for a binding referendum to start using RCV in the next couple years. That was Oak Park. Voters voted 79% yes to start using it. So really exciting, good wins at the end of last year to kind of further propel RCV forward in our state. And we have just continued to hit the ground running for 2025. So at the very end of last year, we turned in petitions for the city of Skokie to put RCV on the ballot for this April. RCV is officially on the ballot. We're ramping up that campaign soon. Within a week or so, we'll have rcvforskokie.org up and running. So if any of you want to help with phone banking, that's something that you can do from anywhere. Please check that out. I'm sure Rank the Vote will be sending stuff out on that. And we're also making a big push in Chicago this year too. So that's another really exciting thing. We hope to get RCV on the ballot. Chicago is a city that uses runoffs. Their last 3 local elections now have required runoffs for not only a lot of alders, but also the mayor. It's wildly expensive. The last one cost almost $20 million. And it's frustrating for voters. So Chicago is a picture-perfect case for ranked choice voting. We really hope we can get that done here. We're working on lobbying the 51-seat city council over the next month. And that's really the main stuff that's going on in Illinois. It's pretty exciting, and I'm so happy to be part of such an incredible movement of people that are just working to make our democracy better. Thanks.
All right. Always great to hear about the good work going on in Illinois. And there's so many positive things we have coming up to be excited about this year. Our next state spotlight is going to be Colleen Potter in Utah.
Thank you, Eileen. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and talk about this exciting subject with everybody. So I am the executive director of Utah Ranked Choice Voting. And Utah has had a really fortunate success with our legislature. The Republican Party brought ranked choice voting to Utah, and then we had a bipartisan coalition that passed a pilot program that allows cities to opt in just for their city elections. And this year will be the fourth cycle of that. The highest year we had was 23 cities that opted in. That went down after the politics of ranked choice voting changed. So it's a little more challenging than it was at first. They used to just look at the pros and cons, and then if they didn't want to be a guinea pig and they were conservative, they wouldn't do it for a while. But now we're having a whole different dynamic. So we are fighting hard to get 25 cities in 2025. So in 2024, we had to defend against a bill that would have ended our pilot program and not allowed us to use, for the last 2 years we've done that, but it would have allowed us to not use it for this election cycle. We were able to do that with 3 votes to spare, or we won by 3 votes in the Senate. This year, we are looking to pass a bill that will extend our pilot program for 10 more years. We have a solid sponsor. We've got several cities who are ready to adopt and use ranked choice voting this year. And we also have a study from a local university, and their summary was ranked choice voting is mathematically superior. It was a math professor and a stats professor. And they're encouraging our legislature to allow cities to continue to use it as cities and voters learn how to use ranked choice voting and understand it over the years. So hopefully this year we'll be able to extend it for another 4 election cycles, which just means that the cities have the option of city councils voting to use it in their city elections. We have not yet been able to get it in partisan elections, but the more people are used to it and familiar with it and like it, I believe that's what the outcome will be in the future. So our cities so we're working hard on that bill that just was released. Our legislature started this week. We only have a 45-day session, so it's fast and furious. And we hope there won't be another bill to end it this year. But our cities have until May 1st to opt into our pilot, and we're just working hard to get more cities on board. And we're excited about ranked choice voting in 2025. Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Thanks, Colleen, and best of luck if you have that run towards the 45-day session. Next up, we have a few of our state leaders who were not able to join live. We've got a video from about 3 of them in a row, and then we'll get back to the folks that are live on the Zoom now.
The 2024 election saw countless candidates elected without majority support. Both Alyssa Slotkin and Donald Trump fell short of 50% of the vote. Non-majoritarian winners are eroding voters' faith in our elections to deliver representative governments.
So, how do your politicians keep winning with less than 50% of the vote? Isn't that America's whole thing? Majority rules?
That's the idea, yeah, but we have something called plurality voting, so a candidate can win without receiving a majority.
What? Winning without a majority sounds pretty stupid. Look, I'm a member of parliament, as you know, so I don't know anything about that.
Anyway, there's something we can do about this, and it's called ranked choice voting. Instead of just picking one candidate, you get to rank your first choice, second choice, and third choice, and so on. It means that the winner is guaranteed to get majority support. And there's an organization working to bring ranked choice voting to Michigan. It's called Rank My Vote.
Wait, are you guys the ones doing that thing where you spell my with an M-I, like the state's abbreviation?
Yeah, we do.
Y'all really make a nice meal out of that bit, huh?
I guess we do, yes. But we've made fantastic progress already. We've recruited over 250 volunteers. We have 1,700 subscribers to our email and social media. We have field teams up and running in all 10 regions of the state. And we've put on 2 town hall speaker series along with 2 policy summits. And we've raised over $100,000 since the election.
Wait. Why are you talking like that? What is this, some sort of promotional video you're presenting to a national organization out of whom you hope to wheedle money and support?
No, of course not, but we need all the help that we can get. This year, we have to collect 600,000 signatures from registered Michigan voters. And if we're successful there, we'll need to get 2.5 million votes next year. We need all the help we can get. Michigan has a history of passing needed electoral reform, but we can't do it alone. So we need you to do your part. So please visit rankmyvote.org. That's rank, R-A-N-K, my, M-I.
Michigan people.
Shut up, bird. Vote, V-O-T-E.org. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and on behalf of everyone from the team at Rank My Vote Florida, we want to wish you a very happy RCV Day. 2024 was an extraordinary year for us here in Florida. We hosted dozens of educational events, including screenings of the documentary film Majority Rules, speakers' presentations, and we grew our grassroots network by over 500 supporters. We worked with organizations and leaders across the political spectrum to engage voters in cities and counties statewide. And together we've built momentum for a more inclusive and representative democracy in Florida. As we look ahead to 2025, our mission is clear. We want to expand our public outreach, secure more legislative support, and continue to grow our supporter and volunteer base. 2025 is a year that we hope to achieve great things.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamara Allen, the Programs Director here at Upvote Virginia, and we are so excited about 2025. We currently have a bill in the VA Legislature, Senate Bill 1009, that adds upgrades to the optional use of RCV for localities. So it basically just expands the use. It clarifies the scope of existing law. It codifies best practices for ranked choice voting elections, and it also certifies election technology beyond the voting machines. And so that we know that with the passage of this bill and with the continued support that we get from localities and local electeds who love RCV, and the increased collaboration with statewide organizations that have shared interests, we will continue to be successful in educating voters about RCV and helping them advocate in their communities for the use. So for more information on how to get involved, visit our website, upvoteva.org/getengaged.
Hi, I'm Anna Keller. I'm the Executive Director of the League of Women Voters of Maine, and I am working on a campaign with our folks here in the state to expand ranked choice voting to the governor's race and to the state legislature for general elections. We're finally going to finish the work that was done by Maine voters when we first passed ranked choice voting back in 2017, and we are so excited to get ranked choice voting for all statewide elections.
Hi everyone, my name's Michelle Whitaker. I'm the Executive Director for Ranked Choice Voting Maryland, and I just want to wish you all a happy Ranked Choice Voting Day. I'm sorry I can't be with you virtually for the celebration, but we have 3 events happening tonight that have been part of our overall Ranked Choice Voting Day, where we've had 10 events across the state. Those 10 events have been made possible through our partnerships with groups like Rank the Vote, who've helped been our collaborators for the last year in helping to do grassroots organizing, as well as doing building up our organization and doing the official pieces to get funding and move us forward. This year, we have a couple bills moving through the General Assembly that would either do enabling legislation or use ranked choice voting for statewide presidential primaries. And we continue our work with cities to help adopt and implement ranked choice voting for local elections. Again, this work doesn't happen in isolation, and it's thanks to what we're doing in the region with folks in DC and in Virginia, and what we are doing nationally. So I hope you guys continue to stay connected. I hope we all can help grow and learn from each other. And again, happy Ranked Choice Voting Day.
All right. So great to hear from so many of our great state partners, and appreciate them for sending videos in. We are going to keep this rolling by sending it over to Ben in Georgia.
Hello, everybody. Better About Georgia has had a great year in 2024 that we hope to carry that momentum into 2025. Last year, we were able to grow our supporter list to over 17,000 people around the state. And we were able to launch chapters in 2 new cities, bringing us up to 5 active volunteers chapters around the state. Additionally, we were able to publish our very first voter guide, which was basically a candidate survey that resulted in over a dozen endorsements of ranked choice voting from candidates for the Georgia legislature. And this year we hope to scale it up a lot. So this year we're aiming to get to 25,000 supporters statewide and double the number of grassroots volunteers chapters that we currently have to 10, which includes rural communities in Southern Georgia. And our biggest project this year is our 2025 voter guide, which is covering every single candidate for local office in all 535 cities and 159 counties in Georgia, which will be thousands and thousands of candidates surveyed about ranked choice voting, which will generate a huge coalition of nonpartisan officials asking for a local option bill that we hope to get across the finish line in 2027. So that's what's going on in Georgia. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Katie Babb in Iowa.
Thank you. In 2024, Better Ballot Iowa kicked off our largest ever fundraising campaign, 100K in 100 days. We've raised about $54,000 so far and added over 200 new donors. We've upgraded our messaging, focusing on what you get, not how you get it. For an analogy, think of instead of explaining the mechanics of an air conditioning unit, we talk about the nice cold air it produces. Moreover, we had a booth at the 11-day Iowa State Fair with almost 3,000 meaningful interactions, and we became more consistent with our supporter communications and engagement. We were also featured on Iowa Public Radio's River to River show. In 2025, we are fighting the state secretary's pre-filed RCV ban bill with an advocacy firm and a grassroots lobbying campaign. We're excited to increase and continue our fundraising and supporter engagement efforts, as well as continue to expand our organization capacity. Happy RCV Day. Now over to Jim Lindsay in California.
Hi, everyone. Glad you could make it. Happy 1-2-3 Day. So in the 2023-2024 cycle, we raised about $100,000 just from our members in recurring donations, and that was enough for us to hire our first executive director, Marcela Miranda Caballero. That's very exciting. We now have a full-time person organically in California, and she's great. We helped run, we didn't run the campaign, but we helped run the campaign in Richmond, California. They got a majority of the vote, but it wasn't enough votes to be established. We won in Redondo Beach. They're going to use it in March. And Eureka is due for its first usage. Eureka is a city in Northern California in a county and an area where we have no presence yet. Its first usage is due in 2026. And Redondo Beach is in LA County, which is exciting. So in the next election cycle, 25-26, our primary goal is to grow the organization and grow our capacity. California is ludicrously huge and complicated, and just one person is completely insufficient. It's about 10 hours to go north to south. It's crazy if you're driving. So we're doing that by doing lots of fundraising, and we're also looking for national allies to fund positions, and we're looking for long-term commitments, recurring donations, multi-year grants, multi-year large donations, that sort of thing. Second priority is municipal campaigns, especially in Southern California and Sacramento. We have a huge presence in the Bay Area. Our most likely ones are in Santa Clara County, which is Silicon Valley, basically, and in Sacramento. They're very far along and look extremely promising. And then in Southern California, San Diego County is especially promising. We've got some stuff going on in LA County, Orange County, and Ventura County. Those are sort of our focused counties in Southern California. We're planning on doing a statewide educational campaign, but we're just doing planning on that. We have 7 cities to use it, and we have to constantly keep an eye on them and support them and make sure things go decently. And then finally, we have a couple of legislative opportunities that we're working on. So that's California in a minute and a half. And I'm going to pass it on to Michael Garman, who represents the great states of Connecticut and Rhode Island.
Thank you so much, Jim. Really great to see everyone here. start off with a few words from Connecticut voters first. We have some exciting news to report. Our governor, Ned Lamont, who's been a longtime ranked choice voting supporter, convened a working group last year. They finished up their work at the end of the year with a positive recommendation on RCV for presidential primaries and municipal elections. So we're hoping to see some more momentum in the legislature this year. Have a new executive director who's really re-energized our organization and has really put a lot of work into gearing our advisory board back up. We're expanded, we've been meeting regularly, and we are stronger than ever in Connecticut now. And then across the border in Rhode Island, where I spend most of my time and energy, I lead Ocean State Ranked Choice Voting. And 2024 was our first full year of operation. It was a major success. Among our accomplishments last year, we're signing up over 1,900 new supporters. We won some major endorsements, most notably from the Senate Majority Leader and the then chair of the Judiciary Committee, which has jurisdiction over RCV bills. We had more voter education events than ever before. We had over 40, including more than 15 tables at events like Juneteenth and Pride festivals, farmers markets, school civics education events, and more. Featured in leading state media outlets like the Providence Journal, Rhode Island Public Radio, Rhode Island Current. And another project I want to highlight that we're really excited about is we put together Spanish language materials for the first time to help us reach more voters. And coming this year, we're working on developing a similar set in Portuguese. So exciting times, lots of work ahead, but feeling very optimistic in both states. I'll pass it to Kaz in Arizona now.
Thanks, Michael, and happy RCV Day from Voter Choice Arizona and Better Ballot Arizona. I'm Kaz Fernandez, the Executive Director, and 2024 was an interesting year. Interesting, but we still got some good wins. We had an extremely long legislative session. It went 2 months over and was just full of attacks on voting rights, tabulation, and attacks on reform. But fortunately, we defeated just about everything. The governor vetoed a RCV ban bill, and for those that the legislature sent to the ballot, which included attacks on citizens' initiatives, attacks on citizen oversight of the courts, and a ban measure that would have preempted open primaries, would have banned open primaries. We defeated all of those at the ballot, and voters defeated those 60-40 or better. So that was all due to a year full of coalition building and really awesome ballot guides. And we're going to continue to carry forward that coalition building work and the allies that we built in elected offices as we continue to work to defeat voting rights attacks and attacks on reform measures this year. We'll also be working to bring ranked choice voting to 2 to 3 cities here in Arizona. We're currently engaged in a legal strategy to overcome some preemption measures. And after that, we've got the green light to enact in a couple of cities. So looking forward to that, and hope you all pay attention and join us through this fight. I'll hand it over to Denise Riley in Ohio.
Denise, if you can go ahead and unmute.
I did not know that I was muted. Sorry. Rank the Vote Ohio went from 16,000 to 20,000 supporters in 2024. We secured a grant of $5,000 from the Murray and Agnes Season Good Government Foundation. We raised over $40,000 with a matching grant from an anonymous donor. So we are well funded through 2025. We defended and won against 2 ban bills at our state house. And looking forward to 2025, we are going to be focusing on municipalities with our very first launch this Saturday in Cincinnati, and with a follow-up after party at a local brewery with a Rank Your Beers. And that's it for me. So on to Texas with Laura Schaefer.
Howdy, y'all. In Texas, we are already in our legislative session right now, so we are doing the work right now in our legislative with our legislative reps. In the state of Texas, we don't have an option for referendums. We have to go through the legislature. We have in previous sessions passed a RCV bill through the House, stalled out in the Senate. Last session, we were able to successfully block a RCV ban. So for this year, we're looking at also, there's already been a ban bill put forward, so we're gonna have to work at defending against that. But there's also some options for us to be able to push forward initiatives, especially for like primaries and local elections here in Texas. So while we're working on the legislative piece, we're also working on city ordinances and city trigger laws. The city of Austin already has a trigger law there, and working in other cities across the state. And then one of the big thing is we have a supporters rally coming up on this Monday on the 27th. So if you are in Texas, you want to help do the work on the ground, you can visit our website, sign up for that. We'd love to have you and be able to give you more information on that. So next up is the wonderful David Green from New York.
Thank you so much, Laura. My name is David. I am the statewide organizing director of Unite New York. I'm so excited that it is RCV Day. What a delightful tradition. Yeah, we are Unite New York. We are working on not just ranked choice voting, but also open primaries, term limits, ballot initiatives, and ballot access. And we're just trying to make democracy really good. And yeah, we had a really banner year of growth last year. It was our first year of major growth. I actually came on in this role at the beginning of last year. So in this time, we've more than 2.5x our supporter list to 6,500 supporters. We've had 406 potential volunteers sign up and activated 115 of those. We had two-day lobby days in Albany, and we're actually having a lobby day coming up on February 4th, and we'll have a subsequent one. So anyone in New York, feel free to join us for that. And we also have an action button, which is through Nation Builder, so people can send letters to their legislators. And we got 110 people doing that. And we're aiming to get a whole lot more folks doing that this year. Really great way to engage with your representatives. Yeah, we worked on fundraising. We raised over $6,000 in grassroots donations, and we attended or hosted 78 events. So yeah, basically just trying to get off the ground really strong and make a big change. We're focused for the next few months on educating people in New York City about the mayoral election that uses ranked choice voting for the Democratic primary, not the general election. But there's a really good opportunity for education there, especially since it's been a few years since people used ranked choice voting, and we've seen some of the knowledge there atrophy. So we want to make sure people are supported. And in the meantime, we're trying to advance our legislative priorities in the State House. So that's what we're working on, and it's very exciting. So definitely get involved in New York. Awesome. All right, I'm going to pass it on from here to New Hampshire, where the wonderful Tiani Coleman is.
Thank you, David. Sounds great what you're doing there in New York. New Hampshire ranked choice voting has been in existence now for just about 5 years. And we have had a few different bills throughout the years. And in 2024, we had a bill on the very first day of the session that was carried over from 2023. It was on the very first day the House floor voted on that bill. And it failed to pass by just 19 votes out of our 400-person legislature. So it was actually very close. And well, we just needed 19 more votes in order for it to pass. That was a bill that would have used ranked choice voting for given an opt-in for both for primary elections as well as for municipalities. So we spent the rest of 2024 working to shore up more support. amongst the grassroots supporters, the legislature, as well as community leaders such as Rotary clubs and whatnot. And if we had the same makeup in the legislature, I know that we could pass it this year. In the 2024 elections, we did have turnover, and we, have a little bit less favorable legislature than we did before. It was pretty evenly split in 2024. Now it's a little more lopsided the other way, but we are still having a bill. We just scaled off the primary section, and we now have an enabling bill for municipalities. It was just introduced last week, and we'll be having a public hearing in the next few weeks with the floor vote in March. So we're working very hard and working to get municipalities to come and testify in favor of that bill before the legislature. So we're very excited and good to hear what's happening all around the country. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bergenthal with Better Ballot North Carolina, and we just finished an amazing year in 2024. We engaged more voters, we got more RCV supporters and more volunteers than we've gotten in any of the years that we've existed. We have 4 regional hub teams here, and they did most of the heavy lifting through outreach events in their localities, as well as speaking engagements with a lot of civic organizations and universities. We had some really brave volunteers who decided to go to conservative areas of the states and really had some just really fruitful discussions about RCV with a lot of conservative voters. And I think we're going to get some good support there. And finally, last year, we had lots and lots of meetings with local elected officials and with members of the General Assembly. And we identified what we think are some good pathways that we can bring RCV to local elections here in North Carolina. This year, we're going to be focused on continuing to educate voters. We really want to build our organizational capacity so that we have much broader outreach and hopefully raise some funds so we can hire our first paid organizer to help all the volunteers here in the state and form some partnerships with like-minded organizations so that we can support each other and move forward. We've done a little bit of outreach this year, although some occasional snowfalls here in North Carolina have gotten in the way. And we've got our strategy session coming up at the end of next week in Greensboro. It's going to take us a long time here in North Carolina to bring RCV in, but we're in it for the long haul and we're going to be successful. So now I'm going to turn it over to Nicole Sanchez in South Carolina.
Hello there. Happy RCV Day. Exciting day as always. So in South Carolina, we have definitely made some progress. Of course, not as much as we hope, but again, in it for the long haul, just like Jeff. Last year, we had a bill and it actually got a hearing. The hearing was timed perfectly for the day after our rally. So we had a great messenger come in and talk during the hearing as well. They didn't vote on it, unfortunately, but we have it reintroduced this year. And next week, we are having our big day of action, which includes lobbying, a rally, and then food and fellowship afterwards. So we're really pushing that legislative agenda, and we are hoping to make gains in the Senate this year because last year it was really just House oriented. It's a municipal option bill, and we are excited to have municipal officers support it. And in fact, one is actually speaking at the rally. We have increased our supporter base, and we're looking forward to increasing it even further in 2025. And yeah, we're just looking to expand and continue pushing and moving the message forward. And that is South Carolina, and I'm going to pass it off to Peter Epton in Hawaii.
All right, aloha from Hawaii. My name is Peter Epton, and I am dubiously called the director of Rank the Vote Hawaii. Currently an army of one, brand new organization. We just finished the logo, and we are working on building a website with the help of Nathan and Celia. We are definitely in our infancy right now, and though we have had meetings with the Green Party, and I've had some productive discussions with people that have lobbied the legislature before, we're under no illusion that this is a long effort in Hawaii. We have a super majority Democratic Party running the legislature here. There's no overt opposition to open primaries, other than from the Republicans, which is surprising considering they probably benefit the most from open primaries and ranked choice voting. Right now, we've only been talking to the Green Party, and they are very interested in promoting ranked choice voting. So our plan going forward for 2025, I think, is a bit is pragmatic, I would say, and that is establish the organization, stand up an executive committee, start educating Hawaiians about the benefits of open primaries and ranked choice voting, start working on probably the county level. We're going to go local level first, and that's going to be part of our educational process, is trying to get ranked choice voting at the county level, because we believe that once we get that education laid out for everyone and they understand the benefits of ranked choice voting, then that's an opportunity then to go to the legislature and say that we have, we've got local support and this is what people are looking for. And we also believe that while the Democratic Party monopolizes the state legislature, there might be some independents there that would be keenly interested in being able to break out on their own and be able to run without having to bend the knee to the local party. So we are optimistic cautiously, but that by the end of the year, we can have that conversation throughout all of the islands about ranked choice voting, and quite possibly come the next election, have the opportunity to shape how the counties vote. And then once that is accomplished, then we can start seeking bigger gains at the state level with the legislature. But if anybody is planning a move to Hawaii, we would love to have your help and support. And we are excited about the possibility of changing the way that voters are allowed to determine who manages their lives at the legislative level. So with that, I believe I am handing off to Ed Shoemaker in Massachusetts. Thanks for your time.
All right, everybody. Ed Shoemaker, Ranked Choice Boston, Voter Choice Massachusetts. Happy National Ranked Choice Voting Day. Today we come together as a nationwide as a nationwide movement dedicated to empowering voters and strengthening our democracy. And here in Massachusetts, ranked choice voting, the ranked choice voting movement is gaining unprecedented momentum. In 2024, we had huge success and made huge strides. Boston is leading the way with a historic push for top 4 ranked choice voting system in municipal elections, supported by a diverse coalition of over 50 organizations. Senator Becca Rausch has reintroduced groundbreaking legislation to allow cities and towns to adopt RCV without jumping through Beacon Hill's hoops. These are concrete steps towards making Massachusetts a model for voter-centered democracy. Looking ahead to 2025, our focus is crystal clear: mobilizing communities across the Commonwealth. We're building grassroots coalitions in cities like Worcester, Springfield, Brockton, and Chelsea, with plans to submit even more home rule petitions to show statewide demand for ranked choice voting. But we need your support, whether you're in Massachusetts or beyond. This movement thrives on collective action. Let's amplify this progress, share resources, and push forward until every voter has the voice they deserve. Together, we can make 2025 the year democracy wins. Thank you for your continued passion and commitment, and happy RCV Day. Oh, and swinging it over to Carrie Bull over in Washington State.
Hi, thank you so much. It's really so great to be with you all today. I'm really proud to be able to call in from Washington State. It's really amazing to be on a call with 20 other states involved with ranked choice voting. We in Washington are continuing to do what we do, which is identify our roadblocks and hurdle them as best that we can. So our current project right now is passing the Washington Voices Act. This is a bill that is sort of a unique situation, the Washington Voting Rights Act. now promotes using, or not promotes, but it allows us to use ranked choice voting as a remedy to violations of our Voting Rights Act. So we're out here trying to create standards so that as municipalities implement ranked choice voting, they do it consistently with best education and all of the good things. We're so proud of our political program. We did endorsements for the first time this year, candidate endorsements, and that has increased our number of sponsors on our bill to 28. That's up 6 from last year, and that is no small number. That is half the votes we need to get it out of the House. So we're very proud of that. This bill has a hearing next week, and the following week, we will be bringing 150 people to Olympia representing 3/4 of our state. So really proud to be able to bring the energy and really show that there is momentum and desire for a change in how we vote across our state. We're also preparing Seattle to use ranked choice voting starting in 2027, making sure that our city is going to be able to provide the resources to our county and facilitate those relationships. We're really excited about the work going on there. We have a great county auditor who is working very hard to make sure that this election goes well. And beyond that, we are excited to continue growing our people and our political power. We know that communities are excited about being empowered to effectively engage within the political system to build their political power and hold their elected officials accountable to the power that they are building. In a time when so many Americans are unsure about where to turn their attention in their activism, it's a really important time to be leading the way in strengthening democracy right now. So thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to kick it off to our penultimate speaker, Miguel Trinidad in DC. Thank you.
That's me. Hello, thank you for letting me join from an airport. Slightly rude, sorry, just got off a plane. Happy to see everyone. Happy RCV Day 123. Miguel Trinidad Duramo. I worked with, still do work with Make All Votes Count DC, which of course was the sponsor of Initiative 83, the smashing success, landslide victory in November, bringing ranked choice voting to the nation's capital and also allowing independents to vote in party primaries. I do see some of our dedicated volunteers here from DC on the call, Mark and Will and a couple others. Nice to see you guys. Our work is never done. In 2025, our campaign's continuing. And this gives us common cause, I think, with our friends in Alaska and Nevada, elsewhere. The travails, they never cease. We are now moving into a sort of defensive phase where we are facing plenty of establishment opposition in the DC Council, which is threatening to refuse to fund the implementation of our initiative, even though it carried by a 3-to-1 margin across the city. And of course, it's DC, so uniquely we are under constant threat of interference from Congress. And if you're following the politics of RCV in Congress at all, you know there's a little dedicated cadre of RCV opponents, Mike Lawler, the congressman from New York among them, who we have heard is planning to introduce his perennial bill banning RCV in DC, since it's the only jurisdiction he can do that in. So we're still fighting on a few fronts in DC. So, you know, if you have contacts in DC, if you know people in the federal lobbying space, we're always looking for friends and advice. And we're just revving up our volunteer operations again to go pressure council members and to provide funding to implement what the people voted for. So lots of fighting the good fight and trying to underscore what democracy really means at a time when it's under threat. And of course in DC with our very unique matrix of home rule under the thumb of Congress, all the same. So it's nice to be in community with all of you. Happy to chat on the sidelines if you have anyone you'd like to put us in touch with in DC, and come visit us sometime. And I am passing it off to Nolan.
Thank you so much, Miguel. So glad you were able to join live right after getting off the plane. Everyone, if for all of our panelists that have spoken, feel free to come back on camera if you like for our closing. You know, we are just trying to end this with our our toast to Ranked Choice Voting Day. And we're just going to have a brief close from Nathan Lockwood back at the Boston office.
All right. Well, that was fantastic. I mean, this movement's incredible. It's grown so much in 5 years. Can't believe everything everyone's done. And thanks for sharing it with all of us. I hope everybody's having a good time and treating themselves well here on RCV Day, whether it's having a dessert, having a drink, or just basking and replaying all these great testimonials. So we're gonna close out here. The tech may be stopping us from doing like a massive nationwide celebration, but the folks in Boston here are gonna go crazy on everybody's behalf because just like we know everyone else is here. So Boston folks, show them Boston crazy stuff here.
Go Celtics! Home of the revolution.
All right, Eileen, thanks so much for emceeing us tonight, and thanks everyone for joining us. Happy RCV Day, folks, and thanks for all you do.